There are so many things I could tell you about our class speaker on this beautiful evening, because she has so many interests and talents, from poetry to field hockey. The fact that she's going to Kalamazoo College in the fall and hopes to go to rabbinical school after that. But there are two things I learned about her as we were working on her sermon that I have to share with you because they are so very sweet. The first is, as we were working, she said to me, "Rabbi, I found myself through Judaism." And the second sweet thing is that she works at Dairy Queen. So with that, I introduce you to our class speaker, Jordyn Madison Kravitz.
The clock strikes 9 on a Sunday morning, and the parking lot is overflowing with both parents eager to grocery shop in peace and stubborn students wishing to be anywhere but Temple. Divided into 3 classrooms is the first grade class, each room filled with a Noah's Ark carpet and energy and hopefully some desire to learn. This is where it all began, our very first morning at religious school. Now, it is likely that the boy or girl to our left or to our right on that very first morning is not in our sanctuary today. That after their bar or bat mitzvah, their religion did not remain an important aspect of their day-to-day life. But we are all here. Despite our ability to leave after receiving our cupcake from Rabbi Ariana, we did not stay home. Rather, we came early to connect with Judaism for an even longer period of time. Many of us dedicated weekends and afternoons to the youth group turned friend group we created together. I encourage each of you to look at the young adult to your left and to your right. And parents, I encourage each of you to envision the young adult you have raised. I know we may not say it often, but thank you. Thank you for dropping us off on that first morning of Sunday school and every morning after that. Thank you for listening to us on the car rides home when we told you everything we had learned that day. Thank you for pushing us to continue with religious school even after it was no longer an obligation. Thank you for being our continuous Yifty Trip Fund. And thank you for teaching us and allowing us to grow into the Jewish young adults we are today. Looking out at each of you this evening, it is clear to see we are not the same first grade children we once were. To say the least, we've gotten taller. Scattered among us are new faces, new friends, and I am certain we will remember one another from our memories at Yifty events rather than those in our Sunday school classrooms. Over these past 12 years, I've had the opportunity to connect with most of you, whether engaging in a dialogue or laughing during an icebreaker. I know you all by name, but you are so much more than the smiles upon your faces. You are my friends, my Monday night family. Though I am sure that every graduating class has its bond, I feel as though ours is extraordinary and like no other. We have grown up within the walls of Temple Israel. Passing the confirmation and graduation pictures on the hall and our way to music each Sunday morning, we searched for the familiar faces of our young parents, siblings, and friends. We later passed these same pictures on our way into Monday night school, pointing out one another in our class picture that now hangs alongside those we used to admire. As we gather at this simcha, celebration, we must acknowledge that our generation specifically has been forced to grow up quickly. Whether it is Zoom calls with the Parkland teens or on this bima leading a vigil in memory of those lost in the Parkland shooting. Marching in Washington with signs held high or lobbying to our legislators. Temple Israel has encouraged and enabled us to be activists in our community And I know I speak on behalf of the graduating class when I say that that activism does not stop now. Standing at the waters of the Red Sea, at the Mason-Dixon line, at the walls of the Warsaw Ghetto, the Berlin Wall, the wall that separates men from women, the privileged from the persecuted, perpetrator from victim, the master from the slave. We cry out, as did our ancestors in ancient days, "Let my people go." Let all God's people be free so that we may dance and sing together once again at the shores of the Red Sea. A beautiful poem from our Sabbath prayer books that perfectly relates to this week's Torah portion, Passover. If you ask any of those first grade religious school students what happens in the story of Pesach, they will tell you that the sea splits in half, straight down the middle. Is that not what we are doing right now? Facing our struggles eye to eye and demanding change. In the face of anti-Semitism, we resist. This hatred is not one that began in our lifetime, nor will it likely end within it. But who is to say we cannot continue to fight? We rise at the sea of our battles and demand it to part, allowing us to persevere. As teens, we are known for voicing our opinions, even when it is not wanted. Just as the Jews begged for their freedom in Egypt when Pharaoh demanded their obedience. We have been taught to raise our voices in the face of discrimination, whether it is against us as Jews or our peers as human beings. Our story as a class does not end today. Though we may not see each other once a week at Temple, I am certain that the group chats will not die down, and Hillel events will double as reunions for the friends we will never forget. Our clergy has affected us in more ways than one, helping us grow, and in some cases, growing alongside us. Temple will always be a safe place for us, and I know that no matter what or where we end up as individuals, we will always be able to trace our faith back to that first grade Sunday school classroom. Thank you.